Larry and I have been making disciples here in Kenya and other countries too for about 30 years. And as a result of that, one person disciples another, who disciples another, who disciples another, and there are about 30,000 of us all together now. But the exciting thing is that each one of these 30,000 has a story. And we would like you to meet one of those stories. We would like you to meet Nita Ganatra, one of the ladies who's taken discipling and seen it in her own life and then shared it with others. This is my friend Nita Ganatra. We have known each other for, I'd say, almost 20 years now. We met years ago when she owned a little shop down in Hurlingham, and she used to make photocopies of all my Bible Club materials and things like that. So we became friends, or actually we were just acquaintances at that point. And she wasn't a Christian at that point. Nita was a Hindu. And she, in spite of that, she still gave me a discount on my things that I would do for youth group and children. And so we became friends. And then I'll have Nita tell you how our friendship moved from just acquaintances into a really deeper relationship.
Yeah, I came to know Judy in about 1988 when we had a shop in Hurlingham, and I used to do her photocopies for all the material that she wanted, and I did that till about 1992, and in 1992 I closed shop, and we didn't meet each other till later on, and in 1994 I gave my life to Christ in October, and in around January 95, when I was in Hurlingham, my car had broken down, and I met Larry going by. He stopped and he greeted me and he asked me what was the problem, and I told him my car had broken down, and I was so excited to see him. I told him, Larry, I have some good news for you. And I told him that I was born again, and he was also very happy, and he told me, oh, that means you need to meet my wife. She disciples ladies. Let me ask her to call you. And from then on, we communicated with Judy and we became friends, more closer friends. And she discipled me from around January, March 1995. And I was not very sure in the beginning whether I'm doing the right thing, because I was not a person who would talk about all those things. But I thank God because Judy took me through that process in a very nice manner, and I was really
Yeah, when we came to the point where she would pray, she was learning how to pray, she would say, okay, Judy, this is fine for other people, but please no, I will never pray aloud. So I thought, okay, we'll just wait and see. In a few months, she was praying, and she was praying aloud, praying in front of other people.
Changes things.
Yes, right. And then she told me, when we came to the part where you had to do your testimony, she said, okay, for other people this is good, but for me, I will never be able to do a testimony. So please understand this. So I said, okay. But Nita came up with a very great idea. She decided to write her testimony out. So she wrote it out, and she put designs on it and everything with a beautiful piece of paper. And then she would take it around to people and say, read this and tell me what you think. And she even took it to her Hindu friends. She took it to her boss, who was not a Christian, and she made them read this testimony. So even though she wasn't speaking her testimony, she was giving her testimony to many people, and it had quite an impact on people. So, yeah. One thing we do when we disciple someone is we say, this doesn't end here, the discipleship journey. When I finish discipling you, I want you to disciple someone else. Now, Nita made it very clear to me that she would never disciple anyone. But I just held my patience because I knew she had actually fulfilled everything we were doing. It just took her a little longer to do it. And so she's really become quite a prolific discipler. And God has really changed her life. You know, this is a lady who wouldn't pray out loud. And now God has led her into a very exciting ministry. It's a ministry to prisoners, male and female prisoners in the prison system. She has a title, and I keep forgetting your title. It's a cool title.
It's prisons and police chaplaincy.
Yeah, so she is a chaplain of the prisons and police here in Kenya. And how many prisons would that include?
There are about 107 prisons in the country.
And do you have permission to go into all of those?
Almost all the prisons I can go. Yeah, I have a permit which gives me the permission to go all over. Yeah.
Okay, so it's really quite an exciting ministry. And can you give us an idea about how in the world you got started in prisons? Because I'm sure that 20 years ago, you never pictured yourself as going into prisons to talk to people about Jesus.
About in the year 2005, a member of our church came to me and asked me to help him something on the computer. And as he was removing the document from the pocket, another paper fell down, and I saw it was kind of a prison's permit, and I asked him, what is this? So he says, I'm an ex-prisoner and I minister to the prisoners. And I asked him, just what does that mean? And he explained to me that he goes to the various prisons and he talks to them about the love of Christ. He helps them to he gives them kind of a halfway home. And I love challenges, and to me that was a challenge. So I asked him if he could allow me to go with him to the prisons, and he says, no, it's very difficult, you need a permit and all that. So on my insistence, he took me to the prison's headquarters, and I was interviewed by the senior chaplain there, principal chaplain, and I was finally given the permit to enter the prisons. In the initial stages, it was just three prisons, but I found it very interesting and quite fulfilling in what I was doing. And that time I was given one ladies' prison and two men's prison. But now I have permit to enter almost the whole country. I speak to the prisoners. I talk to them about the love of Christ. I share videos with them. Sometimes the prisons don't have TVs. I take my personal TV, DVD player. I take DVDs and show them all the various videos, and even show them how to live life other than the way they were used to. And that gives me a lot of joy by the time, even at the end of the day, if I've done 2 hours or one prison a day, it gives me a lot of joy. So I as Judy says, I don't think I would have done that 20 years ago. But now, even if one day I don't go to the prisons, I feel like I've not done anything throughout the day.
Nita, you talked about teaching classes and things like that in the prisons and talking to prisoners one-on-one. I'm just wondering, how deeply do you get involved in their lives?
Okay, I also try to, on other than spiritual level, I also try to reach out to them in their welfare. Sometimes I'll try to look for people to donate soap, tissue paper. There were times when, in the initial stages, when I used to give them Bibles, the very next week they would ask me, Nita, please bring us some Bibles. And when I asked them, what happened to the Bibles that I gave you last week? They would not answer me but just smile sheepishly. And later on I was made to understand that these Bibles are not for reading the Bibles, but to be used as toilet paper And since then I feel very reluctant to give them Bibles, but I would give them CDs, or I would have give them TVs or anything, because that helps them to actually hear the Bible or read the Bible. But if I give them books, they tear the pages, so I don't give them. I also try to give them, look for donors to give TVs. Like there is a prison for the youth in committee. They are there for 4 months, ages between 16 to 24. And we have given them TVs, DVD player, a keyboard, a cow, sewing machines, so that they are able
What
to
do
learn.
they do with a cow in prison?
Okay, Mom, this cow that I gave them was only about 6 months old. Now they learned how to take care of the cow, the cattle, and then how to do artificial insemination. And now the cow is pregnant. They are going to be able to take care of the pregnant cow. Very soon the cow will give birth. They'll know how to do it. So those 4 months are taken care of to learn to take care of the cow. And there was a time when in Committee Maximum Prison there was a prisoner who was there for defilement, and he was there for about 13 years, and he learned so many things, but he was not educated, so he did not know how to go about living a life out of the prisons. And when he was about to be released, I asked him what he would do once he went out, and he told me that he doesn't know what he'll do because he has no resources, he has no education, and he asked me if I could help him. And I asked him in what way we could help him. And he says that he only knows how to clip hairs, so if I could buy him a hair clipper, he would be able to start his own business. And true to his word, when he was released, we bought him the hair clipper. He went back to his hometown, and now he is working, and he's even bought a small plot for him, and he's living on that plot. So this is how we get involved. Various people, various prisons in the country allow me to go to them, and they're giving me this opportunity to be able to help the inmates.
Yeah. So you're interested in their whole life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so
because I believe that if I just feed them spiritually and they're hungry, they are not interested in doing things. They're not interested in listening to the word of God. So I try to balance the
balance of
two.
it. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.